Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Mojave. Today we're going to be looking at the High Road, which is the area directly after the collapsed overpass. Now, in the pre-war era, the High Road was a critical piece of infrastructure for people traveling through what has become known as the Divide. It connects Hopeville and Ashton. And with the destruction in the Divide, the High Road remains one of the few passable routes between Hopeville and Ashton. So obviously it's become very important, but it is very dangerous because of that fact. So immediately upon entering the High Road, you will be confronted by Ulysses speaking over Eddie. Then we have a billboard about our hope for our country, which is probably a military advertisement. Now, right at the beginning, we can find some lootable bags and stuff. However, there wasn't a whole lot inside of them. Then up here, we have some marked men, along with a flag of the United States. And these marked men are actually led by a named NPC called Beast. And Beast has a unique helmet on him, the marked Beast face helmet. Then over here we have a commissary, which Eddie can unlock for us. Good for buying ammunition or selling some of your stuff. And also there's various mods that we can purchase from it, so pretty good. But these are littered across the Lonesome Road. Then we have some warheads we have to detonate to continue our journey. And then I found this nice little truck just sitting on the side of the road, and there was some money inside of it. And then in front of us is the crow's nest in this collapsed building. And to the right of the crow's nest, apparently you can actually see Ulysses watching you from the building that is right of the crow's nest. So kind of interesting. However, I didn't find him at the time I filmed this. Also, I've said this before, but I've always thought these trucks are just really cool. They have a really nice aesthetic, mixing kind of like Western America with the nuclear age. So pretty cool. Over here we have a bus that has been, it's been through some rough times, and this suitcase has some pre-war money. So pretty good find because it's worth a lot of caps and it has 0 weight. Then we have some ammunition boxes and we can take the ammunition, of course. Now throughout Lonesome Road you're going to find tons of ammunition and tons of medical supplies because this DLC is pretty challenging. Then up here we have the crow's nest. This is an area that was used by an NCR soldier who got trapped up here and ultimately died. Also, we can find one of Ulysses' logs up here, which will give us some information on Ulysses and his views on different parts of the Mojave. And there's also a locked medical box up here with some decent medical supplies. Down here, there's a trailer, and you have to be really careful in this trailer because upon entering it, it will start an ambush event where you are attacked by a Deathclaw. And I was not ready for this, and I was caught off a little bit off guard. And as you can see here, there's the Deathclaw, and he would end up killing me the first time. I actually found this event with these Deathclaws to be pretty challenging, even more so than maybe Deadwind Cavern, because always before when I fought Deathclaws, I could choose my distance of the encounter, right? But here, it's an ambush. You cannot select how far away you are. So as you can see here, I was trying to run away from him, and then I paused because I was panicking, and I used a stim pack, and I was able to kill the Deathclaw. But this is a really cool moment within the DLC for me, but obviously a very difficult moment as well. And as is common in Lonesome Road, we have to continue detonating these nuclear warheads, and there are even more Deathclaws. Now, I could not find any information on this, however, so this is my speculation, but I imagine the ground below us is inhabited by tunnelers, and apparently tunnelers can hunt and kill Deathclaws, so I would suspect the Deathclaws were forced up here to the High Road by the tunnelers, because the area below us has become uninhabitable for Deathclaws, which is pretty scary that there is a monster within the Mojave Wasteland that scares Deathclaws even. And in the back of this truck, we have a bed along with some ammunition boxes, so pretty good find and a good place to rest up after fighting so many damn Deathclaws. Also, we have a survivor's footlocker, which has a lot of ammunition and some weapons and armor in it, So again, a pretty good find. Continuing down the road, we have more Deathclaws, but it got significantly easier because, as I said before, I can choose the distance of the encounter and I can use my anti-material rifle to kill them. Now, this is the end of the high road, actually, and we're going to be moving on to the Junction 7 rest stop. But it's still kind of part of the same area, so we will talk about it in this video. Now, at the end of the high road, we can find a collapsed tunnel. However, it is not accessible to the player, and there's a truck kind of sticking out of it. And if we go inside the truck, we can find some military crates with some first aid supplies. So, pretty good. And then if we come over here, we can find a little encampment, and we can find another Ulysses log, along with some supplies and junk, but really not a whole lot here. But I think the Ulysses logs are pretty interesting. Then moving on, we can find a collapsed building along with just a area that's been obviously devastated. And we can find a really cool scene here. So we have a special enemy called Bonesaw. But even more interesting here is we have a dead Deathclaw surrounded by several dead marked men. So obviously there was a pretty fierce battle here between the marked men and the Deathclaw. And Bonesaw and one more marked man who was a sniper were the lone survivors of the encounter. So some really cool world building from Obsidian. And then inside one of these stone huts, we can find a Roughin' It bedroll kit. And it weighs a lot at 15 pounds. However, this can be used to sleep anywhere as long as we are outside. So it might be useful, and it is a somewhat rare item within Fallout New Vegas. There's only a handful of them within the Lonesome Road DLC, so definitely something you want to pick up. However, I was reading on Reddit there is a glitch with these where you're unable to use it if you pick up more than one. So if you want to grab it, do not pick up multiple of them, just pick up one, and you should be okay. Then we have this warhead back in this corner, and upon detonating it, we can find a skeleton along with some metal boxes that have some ammunition and weapons and medical supplies in them. Also, I just really like these lead-lined medical boxes. They just look really cool and they match the Fallout aesthetic. Now, I really like the high road, like the atmosphere that it creates with the high winds and the kind of, terrible, rusted, nuclear atmosphere. And it also reminds me a lot of Dr. Bosch, and I think a lot of the assets from this part of the game were actually used in Dr. Bosch's horror video series. Now, at the end of the high road, we have the nuclear missile launch, which is one of my favorite scenes within Fallout New Vegas, so I will go ahead and play that without commentary. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Unexplored Mojave. If you have any recommendations for the next location, please post them in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.